Let's next share with our viewers the project facts.
So at Villa Bay, of course, it's a GLS, a government land sale, so it's 99 years leasehold. Okay, there will be 2 blocks, as we saw earlier, of 31 stories of residential flats. So there will be 515 units of 1 bedroom all the way to 5 bedroom and even penthouses. And then for the car park, because we did mention it's a car light town, so moving forward, a lot of these new car light areas, right, they will only be allowed to have half of the car park lots.
I think that shouldn't be a big issue, because if you look at the connectivity as well as all the new upcoming infrastructure as well as the design this whole entire township to be, will really get great connectivity no matter which part of Singapore that you're actually going to. And let's look at the breakdown of the number of units and the percentages out of the 515 units that we have at Vela Bay.
Yep.
So for 1 bedroom, we have the 27 units, that is around 5%. For the 2 bedroom unit types, we have a total of 197, that makes up 38%. And the 3 bedroom unit type, a total of 175, and that's around 34%, as well as the 4 bedroom unit types, which is 88 units, around 17%. And definitely, if you look at the unit mix itself, I do foresee the 3 and 4 bedrooms is going to be really popular. And for those of you looking for big units, we have the 5 bedroom private live as well as the penthouse that you will be interested in. So 5 bedroom private live unit, we have a total of only 26 units and 2 penthouses, and that makes up the remaining 6%.
I think it's a really good balance between the small units and the big units. Majority, if I look at the numbers, it should be 3 bedrooms onwards.
Yes, exactly, because in this area is definitely a very hot spot for upgrading. So let's share a little bit more about the developmental facts with our viewers. And I think out of the 2 blocks itself, every floor we have 9 units per floor. For those of you who really want to buy sea view units, the developer is suggesting that you consider units from level 11 onwards.
Yeah.
You'll be looking at the greenery, which is the East Coast part, before the seafront.
Just take a look at the blue arrows. These are all the stacks that have the sea facing directions. That's why we mentioned the developer very thoughtfully angled the buildings in a way that it maximizes the sea view. Then of course the ones with the red arrows are looking towards the low rise.
The whole entire development is slightly elevated off the ground, and the first story units are very nicely elevated. And also if you look at the block to block distances and the setback, they are all quite comfortable and as wide as 48 meters from block to block.
So some stacks potentially got sea view and can also see the pools.
For those of you who don't drive, you will be happy to know that we actually have 3 side gates, give you very good connectivity and access to the different areas that you might want to go to. We have one definitely at the guardhouse over here along Bayshore Walk, and one that leads you to the MRT, as well as the last one that leads probably you to the bus stops.
Yes, correct. So the one at side gate 3 is directly sheltered to the MRT and to the bus stop. Side gate 1 is Bayshore Walk, is a brand new road. So this will serve only Villa Bay and also I think another development in this area.
We of course look at the beautiful facilities that actually Singhai has always been very good at designing, and we see that at Park Clementi's as well as Grand Diamond.
So it's considered a full facility condo?
Yes, and you have a tennis court, right, that makes you a full-fledged full facilities development. And I like the fact that the pool itself is a freeform pool, makes it very resort-like, and I think this really sits very well in this area, especially when we're so near to the coastal area.
Design of the pool is to mimic the sea also, from like a sandy color and then it goes down gradient to a blue color. It's pretty nice.
I think I have some of my clients ask me, hey, why these places don't call themselves Bayshore Residences and they call like Vela Bay, right? So actually the origins from the word Vela is from Latin. It actually means sails, right? And that's the reason why you can see the positioning of the blocks. You know, it's a little bit like a yacht.
I think there are a couple of clubhouses. There is one closer to the main entrance. It's called the Villa Bay Lounge. There's also one that is closer to the side gate, nearer to the shelter walkway, near the tennis court. So that one called Villa Bay Clubhouse. So you have plenty of function rooms in these areas. Just now we mentioned the Villa pool, right? It's actually a 50-meter lap pool, although it's freeform. There's also a small kids pool at the corner near the family deck. There will be barbecue pit. Not sure how many, 1 or 2. The developer hasn't confirmed at the Villa Pavilion. And this one will have the sail feature as well. So very iconic. And there will be a gym that is facing towards the playground. So when you are exercising, you can also see what your kids are doing outside.
We will also be rolling out like a full show flat tour. Definitely look out for that as well. And these are some artist impressions that we have at this current moment of the arrival porch, as well as the Vela pool, which is a resort freeform pool. Okay, then let's talk a little bit about all the floor plans that we have at Vela Bay, starting from the 1+ study units, and there will be only 27 units of this.
Yeah, I think it's very going to be very popular, especially for the investors. And this one also is sea facing.
For those of you looking for 1-bedroom unit type, and we have a total of only 1 stack, 27 units. If you look at the layout itself, I think it's a pretty efficient layout. It's a 1+ study layout, pretty regular and squarish in terms of the design itself. I like that The foyer is pretty short, and there's like a tuck away, like a study that you can actually use for flexibility. It can be a real study as well as a storage. As you can see, the master room over here has ensuite, and it has actually 2 entrances that gives you the privacy.
The living space is actually pretty wide. The wall to wall you can see is quite distant. It has balcony as well, and also the wall is actually hackable between the master and the living room.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that this particular wall over here allow you to do some customization, like maybe into a glass sliding or whatever. But the AC ledge over here is not included inside the 484 square feet, which actually gives you even higher efficiency. So actually, Elizabeth, since this is a harmonized project, so if we talk about my 484 square feet, so if I use the old benchmark, it's going to be roughly around 510 square feet.
Yes.
Alright, let's move on to the 2-bedroom unit type. What do you think?
Wow, the 2 bedrooms are very exciting. So they have quite a few different types of layouts. We have 2 bed, 1 bath from 592 square feet all the way to 2 bed premium, which is 2 bath, all the way to 689 square feet. So very quickly, let's take a look at the 2 bed, 1 bath. This is the 592 square feet, 2 bed, 1 bath. So you enter, you get a galley kitchen, open concept kitchen, right? And then you have space for a 4-seater dining set. It's a dumbbell layout, so it's very, very efficient. You don't have any wasted like corridor space. You have your common room on one end, and then you also have your master with the master bath, which has also a Jack and Jill, 2 entrances into the bathroom, and also the flexibility to hack away the common room wall to extend out the entire living space.
I think this is a pretty common layout plan seen in many of the developments, because to maximize space, developers are building mostly dumbbell units in all the new launches. So the other 2, 592, pretty much similar to what Elizabeth has shared. Basically, it's a little bit of difference in the foyer area. If you can see over here, some has a slightly longer and elongated kitchen compared to the earlier one. But generally, they are still dumbbell, right, in all the 2 bed, 1 bath. And of course, let's move on to the 2 bedroom premium. These are our 2 bed, 2 bath. And I think this is the one that we will see in the show flat. So I like the fact that the kitchen is really tucked away and is actually good for those of you who would actually like to actually install maybe another panel here to actually hide the kitchen away from the dining and living area. This has an extra common bath over here. So if you look at both the master room as well as the common room itself, I can say that these are actually 2 ensuites. This is another 689 square feet. Is probably just a mirror image.
Then we have the 678 square feet, 2 bedroom premium. This one is quite interesting. It has a proper tuck away kitchen.
So-called semi-enclosed kitchen, right? Which is over here.
And this one, we have 2 stacks of this. I think this will be very popular because the square footage is slightly smaller, but it has a proper tuck away kitchen.
So really, we have different unit types. No matter whether you prefer the open concept or the tuck away kitchen, you have different choices that you can be looking at. Let's move on to the 3 bedroom unit type, and it starts from the 3 bedroom compact of 883 square feet to the premium type that is 1033 square feet.
So the 883 square feet, you can see that it's very, very efficient. Okay, you have a little bit of walkway space, good for putting your shoe racks, and then we have a proper tuck-in kitchen, and we have 3 proper bedrooms that both the common rooms can definitely fit a queen size bed, the master can fit a king size bed with still a lot of walkway space. As
a harmonized project, this is going to be 900 over square feet if we are using the old benchmark to actually measure the effective use of space. And I am very confident this particular unit type will be very, very popular, because this will be very popular to both investors as well as homestayers and upgraders who would actually like to move and upgrade into the Bayshore area.
So just one thing to note about this layout is that it doesn't have windows in both the bathroom and the kitchen. So the kitchen will definitely come with an induction stove instead.
So for the bathrooms, it will come with mechanical ventilator. So for those of you looking for windows in the kitchen as well as the bathroom, you will need to be looking at the bigger units of the 3 bedroom unit type.
In the common bedrooms will have the aircon ledges outside. Probably will not get the full height windows.
Okay, and that's also because this particular unit is actually sandwiched between the bigger units itself. So let's move on to another 883 floor plan, which is another compact 3 bedroom that we have. So this particular one has an L-shaped kitchen.
So I think 4 people stand in the kitchen, no problem.
What I really like about this one is that this is actually a dumbbell layout. So with 883 square feet, dumbbell versus non-dumbbell, effective use of space, this is just a little bit better than the traditional layout that we just said.
Yeah, of course there is 1 bedroom that will have the aircon ledge outside. So you have 2 bedrooms with full height windows.
Okay, I like how the floor plans have a few couple of walls that are hackable. I'm a big fan of walls that can hack.
Last time you hacked your whole house.
Yes, I hacked my own house. But don't worry if you are looking at something with windows as well as full height floor to ceiling windows, you can actually be considering the 893 square feet type. So for those of you who like a little bit more privacy, you might potentially like this one. It has a proper enclosed kitchen for this particular layout, and you can see over here, I'm going to highlight for our viewers all the windows that you get to enjoy in both the kitchen as well as the bathrooms itself. Okay, so what I really like about this proper enclosed kitchen is that there is a glass panel over here, and it will allow you to be cooking inside the kitchen, and then you can actually have sight of the people in the living area itself.
And proper 6-seater dining set, generous living room size. The bedroom 2 can also be hacked, amazing. The master also can be joined with bedroom 3 potentially. And I also like the fact that you don't see the master bathroom from the bed in the master.
In fact, if you ask me this particular layout today, if you are somebody who only need 2 bedrooms and you actually like to host your friends, if you hack down this wall over here, you really will get a lot more space.
Yep.
If we look at the square footage 893, this will actually help to keep your quantum low. Okay, let's move on to those of you who have bigger families, maybe a stay-in helper. This will be the unit type that you will be looking at, the 1033 square feet, and these are 3-bedroom premium. Right, coming in, you have a very interesting foyer over here. Potentially, you can build like maybe a row of cabinetry, right, to store all your shoes and stuff. And definitely as a 3-bedroom premium type, this will come with a proper enclosed kitchen and a yard and a WC at the back if you have a helper, right? And of course, all come with windows. You can see over here all the windows. Even the WC has a window. I actually like it.
Yes,
yeah.
And there are a total of 3 stacks of this 3-bedroom premium layout, which we will actually see at the show flat when you come down and see it with us. Okay, so we really like this layout a lot. I really like the finishing as well.
Yeah, and this is one of the 1033 square feet layout that you get to enjoy, and I can see that all the rooms can fit queen size bed. There's another glass panel here, right? So this definitely is a layout that's very suitable for families.
Yes.
Let's move on to another one. This is pretty much quite a mirror image of what we've seen, and the rest of the other 1033 square feet are pretty much quite similar. And of course, let's move on to the highly anticipated 4-bedroom unit types, because this unit type actually will definitely have sea views. And we have a total of only 62 units, right, of this particular layout of 1173 square feet over here. The developer is very thoughtful. They actually tried to maximize the space at 1173 square feet so that it will be able to make it more affordable in terms of quantum for all these upgraders.
It's pretty similar to what we saw in the 3-bedroom premium, just that you have a much longer dining space. Now you can fit a 8-seater. I think can even go up to 10-seater. Also have one more additional bedroom 4 located between the 2 bathrooms.
You would have been bringing the square footage up to about 1,200 plus square feet unit using the old benchmark. So if we kind of normalize on 1173 square feet, it's definitely more than 1,002. So we have 1 stack of this. It's pretty much the same, just different stacks, different views.
I think the foyer is a bit different.
Yeah. But in terms of square footage, the same. So most of the attributes remains the same.
Moving on to the 4-bedroom private lift. This is the premium 4-bedder. This one we have a total of only 26 units. Also going to enjoy the sea views.
For those of you who prefer having a private lift for exclusivity, you'll be very happy to know that for this particular unit type. And of course, for the 4-bedroom with private lift, it comes with a dry kitchen as well. And the dry kitchen over here itself will have some cabinetry, some glass cabinetry for you to actually have a little bit more storage. It's also a wine chiller over here. So, and of course the dining area itself, you can see can comfortably sit a 8-seater, and definitely a much wider wall-to-wall distance that you can get in the living area itself.
Bedrooms definitely all can fit queen size. So you can see bedroom 4 and bedroom 3 are connected by a Jack and Jill bathroom. I like that this concept. Actually, all the rooms are ensuite. Yeah, even bedroom 2 also. So you don't have to leave your room at all in the night when you need to use the bathroom.
So you have kids, you know, they don't need to fight. Everyone has an ensuite bedroom. And this is definitely luxury. Moving on to the largest unit type before the penthouse, a 5-bedroom private lift at 1,582 square feet. And we have a total of only 26 units as well.
This is going to be the show flat unit type as well. You will see in our next video.
Definitely a very big upgrade for those of you who are looking for luxury, lifestyle, all at one location. 1,582 square feet, it will bring you close to almost 1,007, right?
Yes.
If we kind of normalize the square footage itself. We have an additional junior master on one side of the unit to give that exclusivity. So multi-generation living, if you have senior parents, you can actually be staying on this side of the unit itself, and then of course the rest of the family members could be on the other side. Wide frontage, large dining area. Definitely all the rooms can fit queen, and master, junior master can fit king. Then this is definitely one unit type that everyone hopes to get their hands on.
And I think the master bedroom is much bigger here. There's a proper like walk-in L-shaped wardrobe. All the bedrooms here will have definitely the views towards the sea, and yeah, it's a corner unit, so you got lots of privacy as well. You also got private lift.
And the 5-bedroom unit type is the only one that the master will actually come with a walk-in wardrobe over here, L shape. And I think moving along to like energy conservation, we actually don't have any bathtub in all our unit types.
Yep.
Okay, and of course the king of the king, penthouses. We only have 2 units, and if you are really a penthouse lover, you must take a look at this 1,765 square feet unit.
Woohoo.
Private lift. There are only 2 units of this.
Yeah, different blocks. One block have one. It's the king of each block.
And of course, if you talk a little bit about the difference in terms of the layout itself, these have really a very wide frontage of like what we call a landscape living room. At the same time, we have a dry island over here where the dry kitchen is, and the dining and the living area is a landscape style.
Wow, amazing. The balcony is also very long.
Yeah, definitely if I'm going to enjoy the sea facing as well, I'm going to enjoy the beautiful views, this will definitely be a unit that will be highly sought after. So this particular penthouse have a total of 5 bedrooms as well. I think the main key difference is really the living area.
Yep.
It's a lot wider than the 5-bedroom.
So this will also feel very luxurious when you enter, because it will also enjoy a very high ceiling height. This one we're not too sure how high, but definitely in the living and the dining space.
And being already perched right on top of these 2 highest tower that we have at the Bayshore area, having this higher ceiling gives you another enhanced view of space, right, and the panoramic views of the sea.
And the other layout looks like this. It's slightly different.
It seems a little bit longer.
Yes, and it's like a dumbbell. There's 2 rooms on one side and 3 rooms on the other side.
Yeah, so the layout's a little bit different. So instead of having just the junior master on one side, you actually have 1 junior master, 1 common room, and the other 3 other rooms on the other side. But I think in terms of the high ceiling as well as a wide frontage, that's pretty quite similar as well. Alright, and of course, is Vela Bay going to be really well sold and well absorbed? Recently, we have seen really high take-up rates. Really developer also bidding very aggressively and strongly in the local real estate landscape. So we'll be sharing the next segment with regards to some of the market outlook in terms of the GLS land base as well as the recent launch results and some of the comparative market analysis that you should consider before actually making your move to buy Vela Bay.
Yes, I think back then when this plot of land was sold, it was the talk of the town.
Exactly.
It was the record-breaking land cost for a OCR land.
1,388 per square foot per plot ratio. At that point of time, I remember we were saying that, wow, this is going to be a new benchmark.
Yes.
Yeah. But however, I think just months down the road, this become something that is, wow, so
It's
cheap.
considered cheap already,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Especially that this is a plot that's right next to the MRT that's connected.
Sea
views, right? Government transformational plans, there are schools, there are amenities. So this chart over here helps you understand how the Bayshore land parcel is positioned with all the rest of the other launches the last 12 months. Yeah.
So if you're wondering, is it one random developer bid the very super high price? Actually, no. There was a total of 8 bidders for this plot of land, and right before the Sing Hai won the land, Sing Holdings also bidded very closely at 1,377. So you can see that there's really high demand for land here.
This shows the developer's confidence of the Bayshore area of how they see the upcoming potential in this particular area itself. And of course, other than what we see on the screen over here, wow, like we should also really tell our viewers about the latest land bid. What is that, Elizabeth?
Dover.
Wow.
Yes, so we're talking about the Dover site. So this was also shocking news to a lot of us just recently only. So the land was bidded at 1,556 per square foot per plot ratio.
Yeah, so if you talk about the Dover site itself, with Qingjian bidding at 1,556 per square foot per plot ratio, and this could potentially bring the starting prices to 2008, 2009.
Yes.
So definitely this actually gives Vela Bay's land cost a very huge advantage as well. Coming back to the land cost for Vela Bay, Sing Hai bidded at 1,388 per square foot per plot ratio. And we look at the estimated break even over here itself is around 2005. And if the developer is going to be launching at around 10% profit margin, it will take us to a 27XX and 15%, 29XX, 20%, 3,000 plus, and so on and so forth. But we never know, right? We never know. Hopefully, with all the upcoming launches slated to launch, the developer will actually launch at a very attractive price for all of us.
Yes, and in the east, this is not the only plot of land that was sold at this kind of price. So the next one we see is actually Bedok Rise, which is closer to Tanah Merah MRT. This one also transacted at 1,330 per square foot per plot ratio.
Is that the Vela Bay's location is a little bit more premium than the Tanah Merah side.
Yeah.
So if you look at the location for this Bedok Rise area, I think the last one that we had was Seneca.
Seneca, yeah.
And if you compare Seneca and Bedok Rise itself, there's actually quite a big jump. And of course, not forgetting another area in the east called Tanjong Ru, and this is the area that's also have a lot of new government development transformational plans with new BTO coming as well. The bid early on this year in February was 1,455 per square foot per plot ratio.
The break even is already 2.6.
Yeah, and this was won by CDL, which is one of the largest developer that we have. And really, we see all the big boys having great interest in the eastern side of Singapore.
So these are existing projects in the market as well. So if you are interested to find out more about any of the the hidden undervalued properties that are still in the market, do drop us a message and we'll be happy to help you analyze what are the current stocks in the market as well.
Exactly, especially for those of you who would prefer a much shorter wait. In the market, in the eastern side, we have Vecna House, which is freehold, Grand Diamond, which is going to TOP very soon. I think we're left with the bigger units over here.
Yes.
The Continuum will likely TOP in the first quarter of 2027. Also left with the bigger units. And Arena East, this is an interesting one at Tanjong Ru that's actually doorstep at Katong Park MRT. And you can see it's also going to TOP next year. And this is a freehold property, right? A smaller setup, right? But for those of you who prefer a boutique setup, something that's more exclusive, not so many people, this might be quite another value buy in the market.
Yes.
And Mayor Blue, of course, it sold very well, and they are actually relaunching it. So Showflat is going to open soon again. And of course, the recent Pinery residences, we still have some units left over there in the Tampines West part, which are more eastern side of Singapore, and as well as the Park Town residences, whereby these two are actually the mixed use.
We have also noticed a trend in the market right now, the leftover units. Actually, the freehold is already very close to the 99 price.
Exactly.
And also the CCR is very close to the OCR price.
Correct. So actually there's this margin gap that you need to take advantage of, and you should contact us to have a chat, right? And if you want an overview of this slide itself, you can contact us and we can actually send this over to you to give you an overview of what's happening in the East. Right, as mentioned earlier on, we have very strong and aggressive bidding with developers topping up their land bank very aggressively, right, in the last 12 months. Next, share with our viewers a little bit more about the absorption rates and the sell and the take-up rate of all the recent new launches, that actually two of them happens to be in the East. We also have Guaco Land's River Modern.
Developers are constantly trying to outbid each other, trying to replenish their land bank. And why is it so? Because all the last launches were very well absorbed. So the last one that we were at was at Pinery. This one at launch sold 92.5% because the average price is 2,546 per square foot, but it actually did 2,007 per square foot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tampines. Okay.
Okay, and then before that, we also had River Modern that also sold 90% of the units on launch day with an average price of 3,266 per square foot, but of course it transacted at a high of 3,693 per square foot.
How about EC?
So EC, we saw also very near Pinery, right next to it is Revel Tampines. I think it was 92.5%, also same as Pinery on the launch day. And the prices has already transacted at 2,000 per square foot, which is already what we have seen in the OCR.
So Elizabeth, what's your take? As a real estate consultant, you see like, wow, look at all these big developments selling more than 90% all on day one.
I think the consumers are really confident in the real estate market in Singapore. At the same time, also, this reflects the kind of pent-up demand in Tampines. But of course, River Modern, actually, there were a lot of launches already in the Great World area, but it's still selling at 90% on launch day.
Yeah, and I also want to just remind all of us over here, right, that actually when we talk about the absorption rate, with of course the introduction of the high ABSD rates for foreigners sometime back, a couple of years back, all these buyers are actually local Singaporeans as well as PR. So the demand and the liquidity is real. Okay, I don't know whether I don't talk about the cooling measure, which I think is coming.
You want to know more about the cooling measure that is coming? Please message her. We cannot say on video. Okay.
So with such high percentages being sold on day one, I think many potential buyers are thinking whether Vela Bay will actually be also this well sold. What do you think, Elizabeth? What's your guess?
My guess is also 90% sold. I think it's a very decent product. I mean, it's really good. It's a very good location. Ticks a lot of boxes for many people. Yeah.
But of course, other than the new launch choices, you should also be looking at some of the surrounding resale. Let's quickly help our viewers also understand a little bit about the resale prices as around Vela Bay itself.
So down the road, there's Seaside Residences. This is more of a newer development that we can compare with, right? Because most of the developments there are pretty old already. So Seaside is the newest one. I think it's just a couple of stops away. If you're looking at the transacted prices, it already has done 2,700 per square foot. And we're talking about something that was started the lease from 2016. That's about 9 years. No, that's 10 years ago already. So 10 years ago, and it is non-harmonized as well. 2007, where we set the lease to a full 99 years lease, we can see that it comes up to 3,004 per square foot. And if we add and normalize the harmonization of 5% of the aircon ledge, it will come up to 3,154 per square foot.
So this research really helps to understand the true value of the resale property that you might be looking at. What we are doing here is really to take the price of the unit itself to divide by the remaining lease and resetting it back to 99 at a brand new product.
And not only that, we can also see the transacted prices that people have already accepted the 2-bedders at 2 over million and the 3-bedders at 3 over million.
So in terms of the quantum affordability as well as how much the buyers and consumers and market can accept in this particular area is looking quite positive for Vela Bay.
That's right.
How about one of the slightly older development in the area called Costa del Sol?
So Costa del Sol is right next to Vela Bay. It has already hit 2,117 per square foot. So the tenure already started since 1997, just a few years after I was born. If we were to reset the lease back to 99 years, it will hit up to 2,994 per square foot, and then we add the aircon ledgers, the harmonization, it will be 3,144 per square foot. Wow, and this is the true value that you're paying for.
Actually, this Costa del Sol, although it's a slightly older development, it's a very popular development. I think this is definitely how you can use Costa del Sol to actually measure the popularity of people who would like to stay in the Bayshore area. And of course, we have two other much older development in the area called the Bayshore and Bayshore Park. If you apply the same concept of what Elizabeth has shared with us earlier, if you look at what has been transacted at the Bayshore and Bayshore Park, if we do the lease reset, if we do the harmonization, that will take us to about 2,394 per square foot for the Bayshore. But these particular projects, you can see, have slightly lesser lease left on left. And these two particular projects have only 66 years left for the Bayshore and 55 years left for Bayshore Park.
Yep, and they are not the sea-fronting units.
But yet at the same time, if you look at the number of transactions that transacted in 2025, they still continue to be very, very popular. Because usually when the leases are so low, with 50 to 60 years left, usually not many buyers would want to buy into the area.
Yes.
And I think buyers who bought into this area also see the potential. That's why in 2025, the resale for these two older developments were very, very popular.
Most importantly, the exciting thing is, if you are interested to come and secure a unit at Vela Bay, you need to understand these dates. It's key. Okay, if you miss it, then you miss it really. The preview dates will be from the 11th to the 21st of April, so only 2 weekends. The show flat will be open for viewing.
And the sales booking will be on 25th of April, Saturday.
Yeah, so if you're keen to actually secure a unit, you will have to go through a balloting process, and you must register your interest between the 11th to the 21st of April. So it's by balloting, so we'll know your queue number, we'll also know your rough time to come down on the booking day. And of course, me and Rayne, we have actually helped many families, many of our clients to secure the units at new launches.
So contact us so that we can strategize your selection process and analyze anything that you might need to know before your next purchase.
Yes, and the booking is actually very, very exciting, but of course some people find it very stressful. So we are here to help you to analyze and also to help you shortlist every unit that you can possibly get, so that on the day itself you don't have to stress at all.
We will be very happy to walk you through the process. My name is Rayne.
My name is Elizabeth.
And we hope to see you at the show flat.
See you!